My eyes are actually burning at this point, and it's about to be 9 o'clock. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're feeling blessed. I hope you're feeling well. Today was a real struggle to get up because I did a full day of work and then writing up my essay in the evening yesterday. I feel pretty exhausted this morning. I'm not even going to make it to CrossFit, but nonetheless, today's another full day whereby I have to push through and get as many words into this essay done as possible. My deadline is looming on my neck, and it's not a good feeling when you don't feel like you're going at the pace that you want to be going at.
Fenchurch Street, calling at Purfleet, Raynham, Dagenham Dock, Barking, West Ham, Limehouse.
I'm really proud of myself for that, but I'm gonna head off home now. It's about 1 minute to 9 p.m. Gonna go home, have a hot shower, and heading straight to bed. I still have Sunday, so another day pulling through this essay before my 9 to 5 kicks in, and I'm squeezing this essay in the evenings. But yeah, so yesterday I ended up having one of those Sunday nights where it ended up being a full-blown sleep, and then half of my Sunday was gone, and I spent like the latter half of the evening just cramming in as many words into my essay as possible. I'm making a lot of progress with that, and I'm so happy, but during the week, I must say, it's very difficult to be able to try and get in the words needed for my essay. In a sense, like, it's difficult to find the time to like sit down and do what I need to do to kind of progress with my essay. So that can be slightly challenging because it means in the weekend I literally have to do all I can. What should I have? Buku tea? Buku. We're gonna have some buku tea. I literally have to do all I can to squeeze as much as possible into getting this essay done. Just me being an innovative black woman and causing this. My husband made this turmeric, kale, ginger, I don't even know what, I think it's spinach concoction, and it literally tastes of earth. I was like, yo, you need to add some lemon in here or something, because you're literally drinking ground. I finished my first meeting of the day. I'm gonna make myself some breakfast. It's looking like it's gonna be, it's looking like it's gonna be an eggs and bacon morning. Just some spinach. Because I lack patience, everything has been thrown in. But this is what is on the menu. I've got some eggs, spinach, and some bacon. For something a little sweet on the side, I'm going to have some yogurt, some blueberries, and some strawberries. I'm quickly heading out using my lunch break to actually send off my passport and my marriage certificate, because I'm changing finally after 3 years my actual name. And to be fair, my passport was actually expired, so I was forced to doing this. Got my avocados, got a bunch of those, so I'm gonna pack that up in the fridge. I've got some sirloin steak, I've got some chicken, I've got some sirloin steak and I've got some chicken. I'm gonna quickly season up and then rush off back to work. I know cooking, I know like washing chicken is a controversial matter. But I know no other way. Do you know what? Like, I know no other way, and I just tell myself actually at the end of the day, everything's going to be burnt up. All the bacteria is going to be cooked up anyway when it goes into the oven. So, but I grew up on washing my meat. It makes me feel like my food is cooked, and there's been like research that's come out to say that, oh, if you cook your chicken, you're spreading bacteria. If you wash your chicken, you're spreading bacteria. But I honestly know no other way. This is what I've grown up on, and it makes me feel safe. Gonna season it with some all-purpose, black pepper, I go really wild with my seasoning, to be honest. Dazzle it with the curry. chili powder. I'm going to finish that off with some dried thyme. Very generous with the seasoning. Just put some duck. I'm going to put some mayo in there. And then I'm going to do a dollop of ketchup. Now that's all. Pack that and put it in. I'm heading back into the office like I never left. My little home office like I never left. Gotta continue with a lot of my write-ups. So a part of my work involves liaising with schools, and I feel like schools have, in the UK at the moment, have completely lost their bandwidth. Some of the reports of children in isolation, just sometimes it's just not making sense. And I think as a result of a decline in overall behaviour, a lack of positive attitude towards school, social media, lack of concentration, the Gen Alpha are a completely different, they're a different breed of children. They're a different breed of children. I think a lot of them have a lot of anxiety. A lot of them don't know how to regulate their emotions. And so we're seeing loads of low-level behavior. But unfortunately, because of the limited bandwidth within schools, the decline in TAs, teaching assistants, I'm seeing some children in isolation that just don't need to be in isolation. They need a conversation. They need some direction on how to actually ground themselves. They need a level of care and additional support. And because that support is not available, they're just being dumped in the isolation room for reasons that to me don't make any sense. I'm currently reading one of the reports and I'm just like, why on earth is the child sitting in isolation for years and years on end for just some of the things? It's like, really? I don't know. I think it's quite punitive. I think a lot of these outstanding schools that are coming out, these academies that are coming out, are very punitive in their approach. And if you don't have families who are aware of the system, they succumb to the pressures of what schools tell them, and it literally becomes a systemic attack, abuse, because they can find ways to exclude your child and you don't actually know how to defend or appeal. So considering that the demographic of families I work with are minority migrant families who are impoverished, who don't really know the ins and outs of the system. Let me put it like that. They're not really aware, they're not really clued up like that. And so when schools say, oh, your child is bad, their child's been in isolation, particularly, I'm seeing this a lot with a lot of the SEND children with special educational needs. Come on, like they need extra care. And if they don't have an educational healthcare plan that's been drafted by parents, they don't get the support. But we all can see that there's undiagnosed autism, or there's undiagnosed ADHD, or there's undiagnosed dyslexia, and as a result there's low self-esteem in the school environment. There's a difficulty understanding social cues. But if you don't have the documents in place, if you don't actually follow the procedures that are there, get an educational psychologist, write up an application, your child is just a nuisance to the school. Your child is just a nuisance, and they will put everything down to behavior and ignore all the social, developmental, emotional, mental needs that are very apparent, because it takes a lot of work for the school to do all of that. And if the parents aren't willing to do it, then the school, even though they have their duty of care, they have a duty of care to several children. They don't feel like this is going to be something that's at the forefront for them. And so you find that those children are just pushed aside, placed in isolation, and it's problematic. But that's where I come in, and I literally get really anal with these stuff. Like I get really wild when I see cases like this, where I just feel like, okay, the system is being difficult. I can write up a mean appeal. I can definitely get into it with some professionals if it's in the best interest of the child, because some of these children just fall through the cracks. But let me get into it. Let me get writing. Let me get writing. So good afternoon. Welcome to this. It's a beautiful Sunday in spring in London. I've come into town because I'm meeting up with a close friend of mine for brunch. I know it's a bit hectic. Everything's a bit crazy with studying, work, but it's so important to meet up with friends so that you're keeping your sanity in check. I haven't met with her in a long while, so I'm pretty excited, and it's a really lovely spring crisp day today. So I'm just taking a bit of a stroll before I meet up with her, and I will bring you along for our beautiful meal.